Can Michael be on target from here? Once again, a little breeze blowing into him as he takes this ball from about 50 yards out. There goes Michael. There's a shot. It looks good. All the way. Lovely point there. Taken by centre half back today, Michael Coleman. So from about 50 yards out, I'd say, do it for Abbey. Here goes Mike. A great shot, a goal! Lovely, Mike! A great shot there by Michael Coleman. So Michael Coleman really on target here today for Abbey. Michael already having scored a 65, or at least he scored a point. So the penalty there being taken by Mike, struck determinedly and rattled the back of the net. Back to the play we go once again. First score of the second half. So Andy Murphy blowing his whistle there. We're going to have the free retaken again. So I think Mike Coleman was on target with that. So he's saying that Michael should be a little further back. So a little bit of a lull coming there as we have this free to be retaken again. 26 minutes, 24 seconds gone on my stopwatch. What's gone on Andy Murphy's stopwatch? Can Michael Coleman again for Abbeyknockmoy. Here goes Mike. The ball looks to be going right over the bar. Once again, Mike Coleman really on target there. The ball just stayed up in the air there. I didn't know where it was going to drop. It looked to be going right. I won't say it, but it went right over the bar. Puck out once again, taken by Madigan, and as Abbeyknockmoy take the lead once again, pulled on the air by Joe Coleman. Ball tapped out by Johnny Blade. Johnny Blade gets his shot up. Up front goes Paul Clarity. Shot blocked down. Breaks to Dermot Monaghan. Dermot Monaghan rises the wall. Dermot Monaghan spins 30 minutes and a half. Wins it! Well done! What more can we say? Up Abbey! Second picture again at the moment. You can see the jubilant sight there. It's a hive of red and blue.
Yeah, looking back on Michael Coleman's career, you know, I mean, everybody knows now, you know, that Michael had a little bit of a battle to get into the team. I think it's probably felt maybe in Abbey, and rightly so, that he played his way onto the team. He was going so well with the club in 1988. Michael himself would have no strong feelings about it at all, I'd imagine. That's the kind of man he is, because we were very fortunate, very, very fortunate in this county in the end came through. He became, the hurler and the hero that we know he became, to the point where Babs Keating said if there was a transfer system, he would have paid £1 million. He would have paid £1 million to buy him, and we know that. But of course, Michael Coleman, you know, typical of the man, I think, you know, written into his heart was his club, and he was the spiritual leader of that team for that reason. And that was the 80s, and then you know, you fast forward up to the 90s, where we won minor in 1992.
Centre half back and man of the match in the replay of the county final, Michael Coleman recalls the early games in the championship.
Yeah, I suppose looking back on it, there was a start out that year. It was very, very doubtful that we'd actually ever get a chance to get to a county final, because we had a major problem trying to get out of the group at the time, if I recall. And we always think back to the year before when we were met our quarter final with Sarsfields. That little do believe that in the group games next year that we'd struggle so hard to get out of, and it actually came down to just one game at the end of the day against Ardrahan. I think just to pull us through to a survival, I think, on the time to get back to where we were the year before.
Yeah, many of the pundits, you know, when they were weighing up, I suppose, the semi-finals then at that stage in '88, they had Gart and Abbeyknockmoy. Gart were overwhelming favourites as well to beat us in that, and that became another famous game where the scoring was low, the tussles were tight and whatever, but it showed the real heart of that Abbeyknockmoy team to come out and top that day.
Yeah, I think I suppose for us to get over Ballinderry first in the quarter-final, I mean, it was a great hit for us. That was, I think, a couple of weeks after the All-Ireland, or 2 weeks after the All-Ireland at the time. And for us, because we played them in the group game earlier in the year, I think we drew with them at the time, so there's nothing really between us. But the Gaunt game particularly, I think the weather conditions may have suited us on the same day, because definitely in the first 15 minutes, when we weren't 10 points down by that time, Peter Van, I think, brought off 2 brilliant saves, and we saved penalty, I think, as well. And I think then the game kind of relaxed into one of those, it's kind of dog-eat-dog mode, and no matter how good our free takers were, very few frees on the day in any case, but no matter how we tried, either side just could fail to put the ball out of there. I always remember the pitch was very sodden that day, but just one of those days, it's kind of suited both of us, and I think at the same time, Gaunt were very, very unlucky. I think the last season went to a serious head wound in the first 20 minutes, which kind of it knocked a little bit out of Gaunt at the time, but fair to some look, they battled on as we did, so there was nothing really to end it. I think it came down to the last couple of minutes again, so that's where it came about at the time. For us, I think the ways we looked at it on that day, to get to the final, that means we must be fairly good, we must be alright. But there was a very, very strong inner belief in the players themselves. Because it's not often when Abbey will get a chance to go to the county final. I think on the day they said, look, we'll give it everything, and I think that's what kind of stuck to it. And I suppose the other thing as well, if anyone looked at the semi-final, you'd be saying, yeah, well, we must be able to score more than 5 points, but 5-4 I think was the final of the day. So it's one of those things you kind of remember, but every game is different, as we found out later on. The first day was something like the golf game, very, very wet day, just started to rain, and I think all day in the first day, all day right through the game, I think Abbey were on top all the way through. I think they were catching all the time to get back on top, which we were delighted if they played their part in it. And for us, I suppose, were we disappointed going off? I suppose we were the first day, but at the same time, the way we looked at it, we got a great chance, we were there, there's nothing to say we can't do it again. And I think that's the second day. A bit more cagey, very, very sunny bank holiday Monday, very, very fine day, and there's no breeze on it. I think ideal for all the conditions, but I think both sides were cagey one another on the same day, and I think that's when it came down to it. I think whoever made the least mistakes, I think, were kind of got us in the end. I think we were lucky at times in the game that the right could have pulled away, but we managed to hold them at bay.
Of course, the game ended in high drama with a vital long-range free for Abbeyknockmoy with the sides deadlocked. Michael relives those final moments that propelled Abbeyknockmoy to their famous victory.
I think it was we had kind of time on it. We knew our time was as good as up. We had this free. It was actually, looking back at where it was near enough to the dugout, about 20 yards in from the dugout on the town goal. And looking back at it, we said we had a chance, and I think the video proved that it was well. Now we'll take the free first. I think one of the players, at the night players, I won't mention his name at the moment, started shouting at us after the ball had moved forward, but actually looking back at it, the ref decided to blow the whistle then. Still didn't know at the time, had with the distance for there, so I hit it anyway. I was halfway up with the ball and I followed through. I don't know, did it go over or not? I thought it did, but a lot of people are not too sure. I didn't have a chance to see any because the ref was on me like a shot. So actually, they were looking for a throw, but I think the ref saw since he said, look, he placed the ball exactly. He actually brought the ball forward by a yard. So it was a bit easier the second time around. So I always remember that in that because the video showed that when I took it from the first time and brought it back, we actually gained a yard on it. So that's where we're coming from. For me, it would rank at the top because for the simple reason for a club that I spent all my years from underage right up through and spent a lot of time here, and even over the years I always look back on that as one of the pinnacle times. Brilliant for Galway winning that year as well in the All-Ireland. So it can be seen, that we weren't just we had to play when Galway were at the top and we won at the top. And looking back at it, yes, I'd put it down as one of the highlights of my year anyway, and of anything I ever achieved. Definitely has to be. I think we'd all look at the team and we'd say all the players to get us there, the amount of people that will work behind the scenes because it costs a lot of money. And I think we're going through a major recession at the time, and we're possibly going through another one today, or still trying to get out of it. But at the time, the amount of fundraising and the little bits and where it came down to small little amounts of money, whether it was talking about people who gathered a few pounds for the hurleys. We had many a night in Sean Dunrose and in Monaghan in Michael Vaughan's, I think, at the time. And it was every week going by, there was always something. And I remember a few nights we even had auctions at these nights, and if you had anything that was valuable, I think it was auctioned the same night at the time. And I remember one of my ties was gone, someone took it, but anyway, that's part of it. But I think we're indebted to a lot of those people, particularly the likes of Brendan Geraghty, who kept the show on the road. He was actually the club at the time, and wherever we went or whatever we did, he was always about trying to get a couple of pounds. And it wasn't that we needed big money at the time. Going back in it, we're dealing in pounds, and a pound at the time you'd buy a lot with it. So between hurls, slitters, jerseys, we had to get new gear, trogs, socks. A lot of people came on board, sponsoring a few pound here, a few pound there. There's no real major sponsor of a team. I suppose in India there's no sponsors, as you'd call a sponsor of a team. But looking back on it, the local pubs around here, Sean Who's, Mannion's, Matthew Ryan's in Abbeyknockmoy, and then you had Doreen in over here. And in Monaghan you'd have the likes of Kelly's, Cook Shop, Fortune's, Michael Vaughan, the Woodside. Brad was a great supporter at the time. And you have Paul McGann, who looked after us extremely well right through it, between looking food-wise and all that, and also Michael Murdens from Monaghan. The likes of Barney Costa, who was working with Heineken at the time, and he helped us out a lot. He had a lot of contacts and small things like that. And I think fair dues to Brendan Geraghty and all the club officers and a lot of people behind the scenes. I think we broke even despite all that, so it wasn't too bad that year. But the other part as well, I think for a lot of people was the people themselves. For us, I suppose, first time getting there, and there was a lot of excitement around the place, and even the small things like the bunting and the flags and the caps and the hats and everything, and I was in the crop papers, but that were the days that have moved on now. But them were the days, and them were the things that people remember, and it was great for ourselves just to get there. But I think without a doubt, without them, we would be there. The other thing that I would say with the lads at the time, particularly with the team, everyone got involved, everyone was part of sponsors. There was no thing as a fundraising. No one stood out there as anyone special. Everyone had to do their small little bit to keep the show going. And I think that's a indictment of the lads, the way the players were in the field and train together and work together. There was no one kind of above the team. Everyone was kind of pulling the shoulders from the physio, for head one at the time, who were doing well, and all the subs, you know, everyone got on board. And I think that was the big thing that made it kind of a parish county final, not just one team particularly. I think we embodied an awful lot of people across the board. I suppose look back at it, it's the first day that we went into Ballinasloe, I think a lot of ourselves were shocked with the crowd of people around, because no one envisaged that we'd have the support from our own parish. But I think we got an awful lot of support from North Galway. We'd be part football as well, and we got a lot of support from things. And I suppose for us, we were coming as what would be known as the weaker team. We weren't favourites on the day, and massive crowd. I don't think there was standing room that particular day, and the first day, but the second day was equally as big, if not bigger. It was a bank holiday.